Hello, I'm London Jones, and today I would like to talk to y'all about whether or not schools should require community service from their students. Community service is obviously a wonderful practice. You are helping other people, and at the same time, you're getting a sense of satisfaction and gratitude. But whenever community service is required, does it really give us these same results? Three researchers, Sukal, Snyder, and Cleary, followed around a group of college students who were required to complete community service in order to graduate, and they reported that the stronger perceptions of external control eliminated an otherwise positive relation between prior volunteer experience and intention to volunteer. Basically, all this is meaning is that by being required to complete this community service, it made the students lose some of that joy and satisfaction that they got out of it, and they reported being less likely to volunteer in the future strictly based off of this. So, I feel like a lot of the results from the last experiment are supported by this overjustification effect. The overjustification effect states that when you're being rewarded for an action, it diminishes the intrinsic motivation. So basically, it's taking away that internal motivation that you have inside of yourself to go out and volunteer and replacing it with the eccentric motivation, meaning that you're just going to want to go out and volunteer to get those hours to get that credit or whatever you need to graduate. You're not actually wanting to go out and do it yourself. You're just doing it so you can reap the benefits. And I just have a quote here by Maria Prolox that helps to back up that last statement. She states, when teens are forced to complete a certain number of community service hours by a certain date, it becomes just another task to complete rather than a learning experience. Students aren't getting the full feeling of satisfaction from helping others that most people do when they volunteer, because that's not how they're looking at this. They're looking at it as like a homework assignment. We don't get much satisfaction out of homework assignments, so that's how they're viewing this. It's just something in the line to get done, and they don't take home any message from it. There's no learning concept behind it. I added a SWOT analysis to help visualize some of these strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Some of the strengths are going to be that it helps students develop a good work ethic that'll follow them throughout life and help them with other jobs in the future. It also gives them a better understanding of the world. It's going to promote social skills, and you're helping others, so that's always a positive. Some weaknesses are that it can be really overwhelming in addition to schoolwork. You know, a lot of students have a lot of extracurricular activities going on as well, so adding all this community service hours on top of that can be a lot. And as we spoke about earlier, it can change the overall views of community service to where people who once loved it no longer enjoy it. And there are some threats associated with requiring community service. You're throwing children into a work setting, so it's unmonitored, unsupervised by a parent or a teacher, so nobody's really sure of what's going on here. There's been reportings of employers not giving these students proper breaks and overworking them, and also students feel the need to act out when they're not monitored, so they might feel the need to go out and have a cigarette with a coworker. I just included this because I really enjoyed the quote. It's from Lori Halls Anderson. She states that mandatory community service seemed like hypocrisy, which makes sense because community service is all about volunteering. And if it's mandatory, you're not volunteering at all. I personally do not believe that community service should be required of students. My high school, we were already required 60 community service hours, but it was also used as a punishment, so if you got in trouble for anything, they added on more hours. And it really did distort and destroy my views on community service. It made me despise it. I never wanted to do it. I was always trying to find a loophole to get out of it. And that's not what community service is about, and we don't want to give it that negative connotation that the school is giving it. And lastly, this is just a list of my sources. I do recommend checking out some of the articles. They were surprisingly very fascinating, and I spent a lot more time on this than I probably should have, researched a lot more than I should have. So if any of y'all have any questions or need any clarification, feel free to email me. I should be able to answer most or all of your questions. Thanks for watching.